How's it going, everybody? This is DeadlySlob. Welcome back to the Nomadic Challenge, the series where I make all my equipment or I have to go around the world and purchase them from vendors. In this episode, we're going to be hitting level 15, and in last episode, we chose the Retribution talent spec, so it's going to allow me to kill things pretty quick. I get a nice instant heal with my holy power with Word of Glory, and I'm really liking it so far, so I'm really happy that I chose Ret. Prot, everybody was telling me, is a good choice too, but personally I'm just going to go Retribution because there's nothing more satisfying than using a giant two-handed claymore to destroy my enemies. So we're going to be starting off in Eastern Elwyn Forest, and this is around the lumber camp where you have to go around killing wolves and bears and collecting lumber, murdering murlocs, and taking care of the local bandits that are in the area, trying to steal all the beans. And we're going to be making quick work of that. So if you're going to be heading up this way, this is one of the last sections of the beginning questing area in Elwyn Forest for the humans. So if you follow every single quest, it goes in linear order from literally level 1 to 100. So I always get this all the time from people who are always asking me like, hey, I'm stuck, I'm at this certain level and I don't know what to do. Just do every single quest. It's not that bad. With the Nomadic Challenge, there is some additional I guess it's more of a test of patience. I see it more of a test of patience, and it's an interesting difference to play the game where you literally have to build everything yourself. And you're going to be starting to see that progression finally in this episode, where we get our blacksmithing level up to a certain level where I can start crafting green equipment, which is going to help me a lot and something I'm going to be needing throughout the series. So we just hit level 11. We don't get anything special at this level. It's just a pure experience bonus level, no new abilities, no nothing. So I'm going to be looking for some nodes of copper that's going to be laying around the area, trying to get some more resource that I can use to either make gear or sell at the auction. So it's time to start killing some Murloc detective style. And I remember this quest a long time ago where you have to use to find the medallion, and then you had to go find this half-eaten corpse, which was really weird. But these Murlocs, man, they're so close together that you have to watch yourself here. I almost got the first death of my series in this location, and I really take deaths seriously, especially if they are from PvE quests. I really don't want to die that often, if any at all, if I can avoid it as much as I can, because I also want to kind of add that as kind of a little hidden caveat to see if I can, you know, live and not get killed while doing my quests. But I nearly died there, but I was able to get away, and I reset it, and I was able to start, you know, judgmenting these guys down and then finishing them off with Templar's Verdict, which is a crazy powerful ability, especially at level 11. I've been able to one-shot enemies as I get more gear from my crafting levels with blacksmithing, and it kind of puts me on par with some of the people who maybe not use bind on account items but are just leveling up a character and using the questing items. I do eventually get to that point where I have a pretty solid gear set, and that is really exciting, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. So we were able to finish up all the quests in the Eastern Elwyn Forest. I head back to Goldshire to check in with my man Smith Argus to see what kind of new equipment I'm able to craft. So obviously I'm going to take all the copper that I've been mining around the world, I'm going to smelt it into bars, and we're going to see what we can make. There's also a lot of really good guides. If you guys are wondering what's the easiest method of getting your mining up, or the easiest method of getting blacksmithing up, or any type of crafting profession, there's lots of websites out there, but I'm going to include two links for mining and blacksmithing, the ones that I'm currently using, although I have to kind of work at it a little bit differently because I want to make gear. I don't want to just level up my blacksmithing like crazy. And if you don't go out and collect all your resources yourself, especially if you're on a low pop server like I am, unfortunately Bleeding Hollow Alliance, despite what I originally thought, is actually completely dead. It's one of the most dead servers I've ever been on. So all of the materials are extremely expensive, and I'm actually going to think about switching this character to a different server down the road just because of that reason. Because there are times where I go to the auction house, I'm going to need to get a few resources before I go to my next zone. So I'm going to be buying and selling equipment, and there's not that much, there's not too many people around, there's nobody dueling, the people who are in Stormwind, it's empty, so it's kind of surreal. I was just able to hit level 12, and we picked up Righteous Fury. Righteous Fury, it's not really that important. for retribution. It increases the threat generation by your holy spells. The only way I would see this would be useful is if you were in a dungeon and the tank was taking way too much damage, or the tank was killed, and then you have to kind of go into, like, you know, DPS tank mode and try to save the group from death. That's one of the only reasons why I think the threat generation for you know, Righteous Fury and Retribution exists, is just for that off tank, you know, exception if there is a need for it, or if you find somebody around the world who's taking too much heat, you can take some of the aggro off of them. That's probably one of the only reasons. So I actually equipped it here. I used the ability, but I won't be using it after this. It's just going to be sitting there unless I really need to. And because I won't be doing dungeons, yeah, it's going to be kind of an ability that's just going to be sitting there. But if there's any interesting methods of using Righteous Fury, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll definitely hear you out. So we just killed Hogger. And if you guys remember Hogger, way back in the day, pre-Cataclysm, you used to have to find the group for Hogger. He used to be a rare, or not a rare elite, he just used to be an elite mob. And you needed, I think, a 5-man group to defeat Hogger. And now you can just walk in and beat the shit out of him, treat him like a bitch, and then get the quest turned in, and that's it. So a little bit of a letdown. I think when it comes to questing, I know they took a lot of the group quests out, like the mandatory group quests, but I thought that was pretty fun. Like, it was a nice addition to the game. And especially with cross-realm zoning now, it shouldn't be too big of a deal. So I just talked to Argus. He gave me a runed copper gauntlets, and this is going to be the first green that I've crafted. It gives me 2 strength. It's nothing amazing, but it's nice to finally get some equipment that actually gives me some attributes. So there we go, the first green of the series that I was able to craft. Really excited. I'm very pumped. And then that's it. We're done of Elwyn Forest. We're gone. We're not going there again. It's time to enter Westfall. So Westfall is a 10 to 15 zone. It used to be much higher. It used to be able to get to like level 18 or 20 here, but they rearranged it and changed it to put more emphasis on Red Ridge Mountains. A really good zone, but before Cataclysm, there wasn't that much activity in Red Ridge. Despite, I actually really enjoyed Red Ridge Mountains, but it was really overshadowed by Westfall. And that's just Blizzard really taking out those multiple zones. Like, if there's especially at the early levels. Now, when you get to like level 35 and 40, you'll have way more options with different areas that you can go to with multiple different quest lines. But when you're a lower level, they made it more linear, so you didn't really have any choice. You just go to this one area, you continue your quest line right towards the next zone, which is pretty good because it makes you level faster and it makes it a lot easier for new players as well. So we run into Horatio Lane, which is obvious. He's the worst detective in the world, this guy. Like, the absolute worst. And he sends me on some missions. I gotta go find some evidence of this murder that happened against these people that were driving their little cart into Westfall, and unfortunately got axed in the back by a random bandito. So we have to go kill some gnolls. We gotta go kill some murlocs. Find these clues for the horrible detective himself, fucking Horatio Lane, and turn them in and see what we can do. And this is, Westfall's questline is really cool because it includes, I'm sure you guys can hear the cops. Man, I'm not even gonna cut that out. The cops here, bananas. They just like to beep on their horns like crazy. Anyway, like I was trying to say before, I was rudely interrupted by those police officers outside. The quest line in Westfall is actually, I'm not going to spoil it for those who haven't done it, but I mean, come on, this was Cataclysm. It came out years ago, so I'm sure that you have. But it actually links up with the old quest line from Westfall back pre-Cataclysm, and there's actually a little Easter egg that shows a group in the Dead Mines, just like back in the old days whenever you used to go into Dead Mines and kill the Defias leader. That's all included, so you get to see a little group kind of run into the Dead Mines, you get to see them kill the final boss, and it kind of links up with the quest line of the main storyline in Westfall, which is pretty cool. So other than that, we're making mud pies. I don't know what the most disgusting pies in the world is, just a bunch of dirt and some coyote tails. Not even using the meat of the coyote. I don't know who made that up. You know, they're sending me out to go kill coyotes and steal their tails to make mud pie food whenever I could have just, you know, gave them dog meat or whatever they wanted. But anyway, nonetheless, I got that quest done and we're off to the Jangle Lode mine. And this is also the continuation of this giant quest line that you're going to be on, with a few cinematics here and there, a few slow storyline bits that, I mean, I'm not very patient, so I don't really read too much. I just kind of go through it and get it done. As you can see, I'm not having any problems with killing any mobs at this time. I'm low level, I still don't have much gear, I'm still using the original chest piece I bought back in the Abbey when I was like level 2. Anyway, you're going to be seeing a lot of this dark figure whenever you're in Westfall, which is, I'm not going to spoil it for you. I mean, I don't know, who hasn't done this yet if you still play World of Warcraft. But anyway, it's a pretty cool line. I think it's actually one of the coolest storylines that I played through in a long time when it comes to Cataclysm. I'm mainly a Horde player, so I don't get to experience the Alliance quests very often, if at all, especially for Mists of Pandaria and Warlords of Draenor. I have not played them at all yet, so it's going to be really awesome when we get to that point to actually play through some of the newer content that I haven't experienced. Wanna go? Huh? Huh? No one fucks with Ron fucking Swanson. No one fucks with Ron. That's what happens, man. Yeah. What the hell was that? Oh shit, somebody's dead. Oh damn.
Light be with you. Go with honor, friend.
That just happened and the person escaped in a second. This is the Horatio Lane, man, you're bad. Where's his sunglasses though? He doesn't have the glasses. Everyone's dead! So after that fucking debacle, we head over to the Harvest Watchers, which is a quest line that really hasn't changed too much before. You still have to go around collecting okra and some oils and some other little things from different mobs around the area. It's really basic, straightforward, you know, kill, turn in. And there's also kind of a new mechanic where you jump into one of the Harvest Watchers and you just have to kind of kill other Harvest Watchers. It's really weird and very, very, very easy. Almost impossible to fail, pretty much like every quest in WoW now. Very, very hard to fuck it up. But you kind of get into this little Harvest Watcher, this overpowered Watcher. You run around with flame boots, and you just start slashing and kicking these Harvest Watchers up into the air, and you have to kill around 25 of them. So it's really not difficult, it's just very tedious. So at level 13, we got Redemption, which is our Paladin Resurrection. Will bring an ally back to life with 35% max health and mana, and can't be used inside of combat, so it's not a battle res, it's just at a combat resurrection. And at level 14, we have one of our main healing abilities, Flash of Light. It uses 20% of your base mana. It can be used at 40 yards, so you can heal your allies, and it heals a friendly target for 240% spell power. This is going to be coming in handy later down the road when monsters are doing much more damage to me because of my gear level. And it's actually saves my ass more than I like to say so. So Flash of Light, a very good ability and one of the core to my class. And if you guys are interested, I'll go over my macros and my key bindings in a special video very soon, just so you guys can see what keys I use on my keyboard. Because pretty much every single ability, every ability, unless it's like a buff, like a 30 to 60 minute buff, it's on a keybind. And you got to get into that habit too. If you're wondering how to get better at World of Warcraft, one of the things that you can do to immediately improve your gameplay is keybinding everything. And I learned this from a good friend of mine, Protox, years ago, because he was a high-ranking player, arena player, and I was always like a 1600 arena player. I was never very good. I started taking a lot of his advice, and I think in Season 15 I hit 2010 rating, which was good enough to get me the rival title, which was awesome. So yeah, the little things really make the difference, and especially getting everything on macros is going to help you and increase your game significantly. Clicking your spells is not going to make it work for you. So if you're still clicking your abilities, you really need to start using some macros and some key bindings. So at this point we made it to Sentinel Hill, which is overrun by gnolls. So when you get there, you have to start killing some gnolls, cleaning up the area, and then also feeding the outsiders, the protesters that want to get back into Sentinel Hill. They're bitching and complaining, but they don't realize that their entire base is under attack, and that's the reason why they're not getting let in. So you just got to go around feeding people stew and killing gnolls. Very quick and easy for some nice experience. Now while I'm also in Sentinel Hill, I'm also going to be starting to forge some new equipment. One of the trade vendors here has some things that I need to make a green pair of pants and a brand new sword. that I couldn't get in Goldshire because it was too low of a level. I needed some fine thread to able to make some ruined pants, ruined copper pants, which are going to give me some stamina and some strength, which is much needed. And I'm also going to be able to make a claymore, and I got leather from my brother who was leveling up a character in the area, and he has leatherworking and skinning, so he was able to trade me some leather so I can craft some weapons, which was very useful. Whenever you're using blacksmithing, pretty much every single weapon that you're going to have to craft that's really basic requires some sort of leather or alternative material. And even down the road, now that I think currently like nearly 200 blacksmithing, you got to go out and get dyes and different items from different vendors, gems. So if you are going and playing the Nomadic Challenge, do not sell your gems unless you absolutely know you will not need them, because I'll tell you now, you will need them down the road, especially the pearls. Do not sell the pearls until you are confident that you will not be able to use them, thereafter. Alright guys, we just hit level 15, which is extremely exciting. We now get to pick a talent. We have 3 to choose from. Speed of Light increases your movement speed by 70% for 8 seconds, 45-second cooldown. Long Arm of the Law, successful judgments increase your movement speed by 45% for 3 seconds. Or Pursuit of Justice, increase your movement speed by 15% plus an additional 5% for each holy power you have. We used Pursuit of Justice because I felt that I'm always going to have a lot of holy power. I get a base 15% running speed increase all the time regardless of my holy power, and I can get up to 30% running speed whenever I'm actually in combat or running away from enemies. I can use Judgment and quickly get away from them. It's great. So that's the one I chose at this time around. Let me know what you think, guys. What talent spec would you choose at level 15? I'd love to know what you have to say in the comment section below. Well, thank you guys for watching the Nomadic Challenge Episode 3. My name is DeadlySlob. I appreciate your support. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like and share this video with your friends. And tweet me sometime at twitter.com/DeadlySlob. And also, I stream World of Warcraft every single Sunday and Wednesday starting at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard to 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. So make sure you come out and watch the live streams if you want to watch the Nomadic Challenge live. Alright guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.